So today we're going to be drawing some candy hearts, and we are going to be using some crayons to give our candy hearts some dark areas and light areas so that they have the illusion of being three-dimensional. Okay, so I'm going to show you how we can take a drawing of something that is two-dimensional, meaning it's flat, it has height and width, and we can make it look like it's three-dimensional. And when something is three-dimensional, it has height, width, and depth. So let me show you, for example, my crayon box here. My crayon box has height, width, but it also has depth. Okay, so when we're doing a drawing, it's always going to be two-dimensional. It's always not going to have width to it because the paper is flat. But we can do certain things to give it the illusion of being three-dimensional. And that's what I've done here with these candy hearts, and that's what I'm going to show you how to do today. Alright, so we need a piece of paper and a pencil. And we're starting with a heart. There's all sorts of ways to make hearts. You can draw yours however you find it easiest to make a heart. Alright, once we have the shape of our heart, we need to add a couple other lines to give it that three-dimensional look. So I want you to kind of find the part of your heart where it starts to curve back on the side. So I'm going to go with like right here, and I'm going to make a little dot because that's where I see it really starts to curve. And on this side, I'm going to do the same thing where this line comes up and it starts to curve. That's where I'm going to make a little mark, okay? Now for this line that I'm going to be making here, it is going to reach from my heart and it's going to come up, and then at a certain point, this is how wide I want mine to be. So it's not, I'm not making it that wide. This line is going to become a parallel line. Now a parallel line, I sometimes call a copycat line. And that means that it copies another line and it goes the same way as another line. So with this line, it came up, and now I want it to repeat this kind of line's shape. So I want it to be parallel to that other line. Okay? You can always adjust this if you feel like you need to. Alright, so now I'm going to be doing the same kind of thing on this side. I'm going to have my line come up, and then it's going to become a copycat line, a parallel line. It's going to follow around. This one's going to follow the whole side till I get to the bottom, and then I'm just going to connect it. Okay. Now, if you look at this and you think, you know what, something doesn't look right, I'm kind of seeing that here. This looks like maybe this should come over more and then come down. So I'm going to adjust that. I'm just going to stretch it over a little bit. This one I think looks alright. Okay, so now that we have that part done, I want you to decide on a color you would like to use. I'm going to be using a purple. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trace all of my lines. Now, do you notice I'm using a crayon? To get that three-dimensional look, we cannot use markers. We're going to need to use something that will be able to make light and dark. So a crayon or a colored pencil works great for this. So I'm going to first trace all of my lines, the inside part of my heart and the outside, with my crayon. Once I have everything traced, I'm going to color the whole inside of the heart lightly. So that means I'm just not going to press that hard with my crayon. I'm going to press lightly so that the color is lighter. Once we have the whole inside of the crayon colored, we're going to be talking about this part that makes our heart look three-dimensional. So we are going to be trying to make a darker color to help it look like it has depth and it has a shadow. So over at the top part, I'm going to start coloring in pretty hard with my crayon. Not so hard that I break my crayon, but hard enough that it makes a darker color than I made on the beginning. Okay, so right up at the top is going to be dark, then it's going to get lighter, So I'm not pressing as hard. When we do curves, a lot of times you see a lighter value. That helps it look more round. Now I'm going to darken up down here. All right, now I'm going to move on over to this side, and I'm going to do the same kind of thing. The top is going to be very dark. I'm going to press hard with my crayon. And this one's dark value, I'm actually going to pull further around my heart. And then I'm going to start to lighten it up as I get over here. So maybe right about here is where I'll start to make it lighter. And then it'll get darker again. All right, so at this point, we can add a message to our candy heart. A lot of times the candy hearts have different messages. You can decide what you want your message to say. I think I'm going to write QT. Cutie pie. All right, great job. Now if you wanted, you could cut this out, you could add it to a card, or you can just keep it like this. Great job, everyone.